Why does TVNZ need to increase its trust levels with the public?
Well, good morning.
Because my colleagues have been tearing it down for the past 5 years?
Look, I think everybody's conscious of the fact that all around the world there's been falling levels of trust in institutions generally, and the media included. And my simple role as a Minister of Media and Communications, I'm responsible for RNZ and TVNZ, never to get involved in the decision making around editorial decisions, but asking the board, well, what are they doing to focus on restoring those levels of trust?
He should probably tell Winston Peters and David Seymour that about not getting involved in the editorial part of those things. You know, like if you don't do better, we're going to cut your funding. Might be worth having a wee chat to some of your mates there, Paul.
And also, you know, ensuring that they're getting good audiences. And so they're the two levers that I pull. I'm encouraging them to be very bold in their goals to get that level of trust up and to demonstrate that they've got a plan. And so it's great to see that TVNZ's responding on that way.
TVNZ currently rates fairly highly in terms of trust with the public. Why do you think it needs to be perceived as more trustworthy?
Oh, well, look, I mean, I think if you're a government-owned institution, I think it is important to be very clear that there's no particular angle that's being delivered, so that's something that's always that the institution needs to be conscious of, so that people have trust. You know, it's an important part of our democracy, the fourth estate. Providing scrutiny on people like Kieran. They definitely need some scrutiny, so that's the job.
Well, we need to put scrutiny on the government, probably even more so, though, don't we? Are we confusing the fact that...
Did you like that? It's like, I feel like with the Bush and Kieran have a relationship, they're mates, but, you know, it's like that old adage, you can call your best mate a fat prick or whatever and it's fine, but if someone that you're in town with shouts it out to them, it's like, it's, you know, some people get to throw in hands. It's not the same thing. And it feels like Goldsmiths here has tried to be, oh, this is the blokey captain's corner thing. Let's do that. And Kieran's just like, I'm not having any of that.
Scrutiny, that's the job.
Well, we need to put scrutiny on the government, probably even more so, though, don't we? Are we confusing the fact that politicians maybe, it might not be an unfair question, but a question that they just don't like?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course. I mean, look, if you go to a public meeting as a politician, there'll people be standing up and saying, yeah, what are you going to do about the media? And my standard reply to that is, a politician complaining about the media is like a farmer complaining about the weather. Well, you might be right, but that it's irrelevant. You've got to deal with what you've got and survive in the context and background that you're dealing with. And look, I think overall we're well served by media across the board in New Zealand. But that's not, that's a judgment that everybody will have a different view on. All I'm saying is, as a minister responsible, I want to be clear that the institutions that I'm accountable for ultimately have a clear plan and a goal to improve their levels of trust. And
this is all kind of talky. It's like, to me, and I know this probably doesn't go hand in hand, but I don't care about trust. I care about truth and accuracy. Because the reason that someone doesn't trust, for example, an RNZ is either because they're untrustworthy or because they've been led to believe they're untrustworthy. Now, I believe it's much more likely the latter, the second one, led to believe, than the former. And that's what we see with Trump, and that's what we're seeing flow through with people like Peters and Seymour. So how do we get more trust in society? I don't care about that question. How do we make sure we're more accurate and truthful? How do we make sure that the foundation of what we broadcast RNZ begins at accurate? Like, I remember conversations with Jon Stewart, and they were talking to, he was on Fox News talking to someone who was, the Fox News host was comparing what they do to what Jon Stewart does. And he goes, the show on before me is puppets making prank calls. We run all of our stories through a filter of comedy. That's where it starts. It starts with comedy. That's not where a news organisation should start. They should start with fact and truth and accuracy. And if people still then don't trust it, I would get to that point that they've been led or convinced that they're not trustworthy rather than being not trustworthy. So I don't think you need to worry about the trust that your audience has. If you're being accurate and they still don't trust it, then that probably says more about them. And in this day and age,
Yeah.
you can take the horse to water. We've done this. We can push the face into the water to try and make it drink. And if it still chooses not to drink, then that's on the horse. That's not on the person taking them to water, Chewie.
I think the other thing here is fronting and saying, well, the audience doesn't trust the outlet, or they don't trust the media, or that sort of thing. It prepositions that thought that the media can't be trusted in someone's head. Trust doesn't come straight away. Trust is earned. And exactly like you said, like, if you're worried about whether your audience trusts you before you do anything else, it's not going to work. It's like respect, right? If someone comes in and go, well, I'm the big dog, you have to respect me, and you don't know that, then you go, well, why do I have to respect you? Prove that I should respect and trust you. And I think that the position where Radio NZ is at the moment is they're not thinking about either of those things, or not as much as they should be. They're thinking of, holy shit, we've just had our lifeline severed.
Yeah.
And maybe if, do we take that as like the people that fund us, the people that agree with our funding, aren't happy with the way that we're doing it? So it's either we die or we pander to the people that do our funding. They are not, I think, feeling very secure at this point. They say the wrong thing, they have Winston fucking go off on the 6 o'clock news at them, or threaten that they're going to be shit canned completely. And then they've got this damp squib just rambling about shit that it definitely doesn't have the ring of authority or truth. Like, if we're talking about trust, I don't trust this guy. I trust the very smooth pivot of Kieran McAnulty's eyeballs more than I trust what's going on behind Goldsmith's eyes.
So what you're saying, Chewie, is the last point I was going to make before we keep going, is that, we couldn't see more clearly through these COVID years and beyond. People trust people who are wrong. People trust people who are delivering dis and misinformation. People trust places like the platform delivering piles and perspectives of dog shit like you've never seen before. So that's why I'm like, I don't care about trust. I actually don't, because it's a bit like in the political world. You're never going to get over the
thing. You'll never grab it.
Yeah, but accuracy, because the thing is, this is what you'll find when someone says, I don't trust that. Probably what they're saying is, I don't believe that. Probably what they're saying is, my worldview doesn't concur with what you're saying. Doesn't mean you're wrong, like the person delivering that information. It means that the other person doesn't agree with you. So because they don't agree with you, they don't trust you, even if you're right. So this whole kind of, and you know what's going to happen with freaking TVNZ? They're going to get had up for not being even-handed, like we've always talked about. When you have not that they've done this, but when you have a climate change conversation, you should have one from each side. Well, that might look like it's balanced, but that's not accurate.
It's not.
Accurate would be 9-1. Probably actually 99-1 would be an accurate panel, even though it looks like it's balanced. So yeah, I think accuracy and truthfulness, and we've said it here before again, and I mean, we're going to go into a family meeting soon, but what we aim to do is be accurate and truthful, try as best we can to be accurate and truthful. And if we don't feel that we can be accurate and truthful, let you know that this is an opinion. Because what else can you do? Opinions aren't invalid as long as they're shared as opinions. Opinions are flawed. Opinions are perspectives based on what you believe. And that's what we've always tried to do.